We get in our heads too much because we want to start on a certain level, and then if we can't get at that level, we don't want to start at all.
Sitting across from me is the host of Gems from Friends, Matthew Future Ashby.
This episode, as you can see, looks a little different because I'm on the other side of the table.
Before I started working on Gems, I didn't watch any podcasts. I was not a podcast person.
When you get a day, it don't have to happen the same time. You know, you gotta like try it, tweak it, pull it back, and then try it again.
Just start somewhere.
Just start, yeah. And just get better as you go.
That's a good.
Make it good later.
Make it good later.
I feel like God couldn't give me this vision. But then I get another nudge saying, no, you have to be on camera. And I was like, but no. I had to get uncomfortable in order to grow. It was a sense of fulfillment that I never felt before. As uncomfortable as it was, and I actually pushed through it, I was happy that I did it. And it was like, all right, this is what it's going to be from now on.
So many guests, and I'm sure you guys who've been watching from the beginning would realize how open a lot of the guests get. So many guests by the end were like, wow, I've never said that to anybody.
You think about storytelling is that you want to take people on a journey. Some of the stories that I would choose to feature are stories from people that can share from a place of healing.
Some of these stories and the things that people share are like so personal, and I commend and applaud them as well. I'd be sitting in the back editing crying.
So yeah, like a lot of the things that I went through and all the jobs I had, from producing music, putting together events, managing artists, and having an insight on what they go through. Because that's what would allow me to know how to ask these questions, because I am a creative myself. So I know the struggles. If there's one thing you get from watching this conversation is that start where you are.
Yeah.
Use what you have.
And build.
And just build. My name is Matthew Future, and I'm the creator and host of Gems from Friends podcast. If you're new here, welcome to season 5, and make sure you check out the past seasons. If you're returning, thank you so much for your support. However, if you're not subscribed yet, please do so and click on the notification bell. It does a lot for this channel and for the other content creators in Barbados. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to another episode of Gems from Friends. The person sitting across from me is the host of Gems from Friends, Matthew Future Ashby. Welcome to your table.
Yes, my table.
Your table.
My own show. Yes. Well, this episode, as you can see, looks a little different because I'm on the other side of the table. And I want to introduce Jacoba Vlogman to everybody.
Hello.
So Jacoba is the person who is usually in the back, switching the camera angles, making sure who's talking is sounding clear and the visuals are sharp, and going from camera 1 to 2 and then wide angle, the technical things. So Jacoba is now joining me today in a different capacity.
Yes.
And she's a host now in training, right?
There we go. Bang.
Yeah, but this episode is just pretty much a wrap up of like just talking about what we have done so far, talk about the different episodes that we experienced and what we recorded this for, and we put out the reception and the feedback and the experiences that we had and the things that we learned while doing it. And not just the gems that were dropped, but like what we have learned even producing in the technical side of things and just able to do a podcast, because this would be the first time that either of us been doing anything like this.
Yeah, man. It was definitely a fake it till you make it.
Exactly. I mean, like, it was a lot of trial and errors, but I think that we still start off on a pretty good foot.
I think we did okay.
Yeah.
Did all right with our 10,000 followers now.
Yeah, and they can give you the flowers for, being able to learn quickly.
Thanks.
And And let the others know too as well that you are also the assistant editor. I know you're
Yep.
actually taking care of majority of the editing.
Yep. Build it up.
Yeah,
Build it up.
the trailers. I have been doing the trailers in the beginning, but you have learned the formula and now you have duplicated that and now I'm doing it perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think
That's fun.
we're now at a stage where you are in sync because the way how you cut the trailers is exactly how I will cut the trailers.
Good teacher. Good. Learned a lot for sure. And I also I just pick up on things. So I just like if it was somebody else I was watching, I feel like I would have been able to adapt it to them.
Right.
Even up to now, even though I know how you cut things, if I was working with Bob, I would just see how Bob does things, and it's like, okay, well, I know Bob would like this clip. Let me just pull that. So you just gotta be aware of
Yeah.
what's happening, pay attention to what's happening, take notes, and then just put it together and hope it works. And I'm honestly very proud of myself at how good a lot of the stuff comes out.
Yeah, and Jacoba is usually taking notes,
Yeah.
like the old-fashioned way, not even just typing in your phone, but actually like writing in a book, in an exercise book.
This is blank because we haven't said anything for me to write down yet. But I'm very old
Yeah.
school. Matthew knows
But
that.
it's a good quality to have. So now that everybody knows Jacoba's capacity, and also I could call you a co-producer because I usually run the ideas. But I talk to you about the guest I want to have,
Yep.
and then you usually like would reach out to them, organize everything, so
Yep.
it makes my job a lot easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, that's a good place, I think, for us to start because I think it was almost 3 years ago you came to me with this idea.
Yeah,
I think it was 2023, 2022 when we did season 1, which a lot of people don't even realize was season 1 because it was only like 3 episodes.
yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people would say, well, how they're at 5 seasons already and we only seen 2, 3, 4, and 5. But yeah,
Yeah.
there is a season 1. But
Yeah.
it was done differently.
Yes.
Season 2 was the first time that we did a format like this where we did it on like a tabletop setting.
Yeah, and in studio.
Exactly, the studio setting. Where season 1 was more like going to the guests and setting it up like documentary style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they had some of them that I wasn't in the frame at all
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
So it was like behind the camera.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's how we started. But there's actually another season, a point 5.
Which one was that?
A point 5.
I was
yeah.
there for that.
No, you weren't there yet.
Not me learning something new.
There was a
live.
There was a
live-ish.
point 5.
What was 0.5?
So this idea first came to me, honestly, in 2019,
Pre-COVID, that's crazy.
pre-COVID.
That was first of all, 2019 was 6 years ago.
I don't feel that way though.
Just need to point that out for everybody so we can all feel weird about that.
We
Continue.
definitely need back with COVID years. But yeah, 2019 is when I first had a vision for James from France.
Crazy.
Because it was like, we need to tell stories. We need to get people's stories out there, and it have to be a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I went about it in a more of a documentary type style, but it's production wise, it is very time consuming, like going there and setting up and every single time. So I actually did it with Richard Haynes, the one of the founders of Beige,
Right, right.
South Central. Crystal Haynes was one of them.
That's true. You guys did mention this during the episode.
Yep.
I didn't realize that was okay, crazy. Wow.
Yeah, and then there
Connecting the dots.
then there was another one that I can't remember right now, but I think it was either 3 or 4
Wow.
that I did in 2019, but a lot of people didn't really see it.
No.
Yeah, but I was now finding my groove, and that's just an example to show like when you get an idea, it don't have to happen the same time. You gotta like try it, tweak it, pull it back, and then
Yeah.
try it again.
Just
and
start
keep going.
somewhere.
Just start, yeah, and
Yeah.
just get better as you go.
That's a good gem. Start somewhere and get better as you
Yeah,
go.
make it good later.
Make it good later. Just
Yeah.
start.
I think we get in our heads a little bit too much because we want to start on a certain level, and then if we can't get at our level, we don't want to start at all. But I feel like, because if I watch back these stuff now, there's a reason why I take them off the internet because they weren't really good.
A little cringy.
The content was good. The stories and the things that the guests shared was really good information. But quality wise and camera work and stuff wasn't really the best. It wasn't good. And but I felt like I had to go through that stage. Just gotta go through that little, what was the word?
Trial and error.
Or when you gotta go through the bad stage.
The cringe
You gotta
stage.
go through the,
You have to be cringe first.
yeah.
Always have to be cringe. Start somewhere.
So yeah, so there's a season, there's a 0.5. There's a
Crazy.
0.5.
I would love to see those lost files.
Yeah, yeah.
Drop a like if you want to see the lost files, as
One day.
cringy as they would be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dr. Carrington was one of the people. She was a very young doctor. Sometimes people will go in her office and the kind of second guess if she's really a doctor because that's how young she looks.
Crazy.
Yeah. So she was in that season, and she was talking about mental health and that kind of thing for men and, well, for people in general. That was a really good one, actually.
Nice.
So I might re-release it.
Drop a like.
Do a little remaster.
Drop a like, not on the Instagram, but on the YouTube. Specifically, go to our YouTube, hit subscribe, and like this video for Matthew to post the hidden gems.
The hidden gems.
The
yeah.
hidden pre-gems
Yeah.
episodes. I would love to
We
see
might
those.
make it a community thing. Like if you're in the community, you get access to the hidden ones.
We gonna
But
work
yeah,
on
so
that.
it started from there, and then it was a lot of work. I couldn't really continue because of how heavy it was, and then it hit me, kind of set up the studio, tabletop, set of equipment that you just set and forget, so that it's not like a lot of work each and every time, so that allow me to be consistent instead of having to think about setting up, going
Yeah.
traveling, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's a very nice point to make. So when you asked me to help you out, that's exactly what it was, where we were going to the people's space of business and setting up everything. And it was definitely, it took like 2 hours to set stuff up, especially when it's just two people trying to set up a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you have to make sure you have everything. And if you forget a single cable or a plug or a light or a converter or anything, to really offset
Yeah.
the entire shoot.
Yeah.
So when you said you wanted to set up this space specifically for the show, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And like you said, it's a lot easier because sometimes, especially for season 2, we're doing like 2 or 3 a week recording. So we leave the cameras where they are, tape the floor, leave the lights where they are. So literally all we had to do was turn on and
Correct.
start. And then, adjust for the guests specifically. But it went from 2 hours setup to like a half hour.
Yeah.
Setup.
Yeah. And I think because of that, it allowed us to get better at the other things. Because imagine where I had to do all these setting up, and then I go sit down and ask questions, like sweaty,
Yeah, yeah. And then your focus is also like,
divided.
yeah, that would happen. There was definitely times where I remember in the earlier episodes where we were focused so much on the technical that by the time you came to sit down, you're like, okay, I need a minute. And I'm sure almost every guest can attest to you coming in and being like, all right, I just need like 5 minutes to clear my head. Because
Yeah.
it's hard. Like even from before when you were doing it off screen, it was a little different. But now that the camera's on you, it's very much intimidating.
Yes.
Yeah, and you want to make sure.
Can you feel it now?
A little bit. Definitely aware of my hair and
Yeah.
my nails and my.
Because you're accustomed being behind the scenes.
I'm accustomed
literally
being in my
behind
hoodie,
in another room.
being in my hoodie and my sweats, my feet all up in the chair, eating my snacks, and now I have to
Yeah.
be very prim and
You gotta
proper.
watch position. And
Yeah, it's very,
posture and all that.
it's
kind of-
very outside of my comfort zone. But all that to say is, I think you've done a really, really good job. And I would love to know, my question, the only one question I could think of to ask you was, what really made you make that decision to go from behind the screen, not really being on screen, to being like, all right, let me just full face have a camera on me? What made you decide to do that?
I feel like God kind of give me this vision. But then I get another nudge saying, no, you have to be on camera. And I was like, but no,
Not but no.
I don't want to do that. And I felt like the show wouldn't really be what it is now if it didn't have that on screen chemistry,
Yeah.
you know? And so I feel like I had to get uncomfortable in order to grow. I had to like, cause as you say, like you're accustomed being in the next room and your sweats feet up and you just, hiding but you doing all the technical stuff, which is good. I really, really enjoy the technical things and not being on camera and all that kind of things or not talking. Cause I do feels a little bit self-conscious about how I talk. So then it was like, God was like, no, you gotta do this. There's no other way. So then, yeah, I just made myself uncomfortable and I was just obedient. And I remember the first episode we did in that format was with Dario Greenidge.
Right.
And that was my first time doing it like that. And I was nervous, but at the same time excited that this is actually happening. And the way, because they play out in my head a lot, how this conversation should go, how it should look on screen, that kind of thing. So I was excited to see it coming into fruition. It was actually coming into real life. And so I was excited about that, but I was nervous at the same time because I'm not accustomed being on camera. But then the excitement kind of outweighs that. And then when I finished the episode, it was a sense of fulfillment that I never felt
Nice.
before. I
Nice.
felt full. I felt satisfied. And it was like, as uncomfortable as it was, and I actually pushed through it, I was happy that I did it. And it was like, all right, this is what it's going to be from now on.
Nice, nice. No, I definitely think it made a big difference. And I agree, the show wouldn't have that. I think in my opinion, I know I'm probably a little biased working on the show, but why I think Gems from Friends is such a good podcast is because it's so personable.
Yeah.
And if you had stayed off screen, we would not have that personality that's in the show in that sense. And I feel like keeping it as we had it like in season 2 with the previous guests, it would have been a lot more interviewee.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
like this, it's a lot more conversational. And I know for sure a lot of guests come in and they expected it to be a lot more. I don't want to say that we're not serious, but they expect it to be a little more, serious and interviewee.
Yeah, more rigid.
Yeah, and then they
more
sit down.
generic.
So many guests, and I'm sure you guys who've been watching from the beginning would realize how open a lot of the guests get. So many guests by the end were like, "Wow, I've never said that to anybody." Or you made me feel so comfortable. I don't usually
Yeah.
cry. Like
Yeah.
if we had to count all the people that cried, crazy.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good stuff. So I think having you on screen as a host and not just as an interviewer definitely gives the show a different angle than a lot of other
I think
shows.
and I received that, and thank you for that compliment.
The plot is so long.
I gotta take my flowers. You can always bring down the volume. I do that.
See, I learning.
Yeah, yeah.
Boop.
See, so you gotta do new things every day.
I like working with audio though. I gotta get more into that.
So I think that being able to be on screen allow me to get people comfortable. Because I think that if I had as you said, if I had sit behind the camera, the questions would be very formulated. It would be like this whole strategic thing. And for me, right now, it isn't. Right now, it's more like I sit down and just have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think people feel that. They could feel it on the screen, coming off the screen, that it's just a casual thing.
Yeah.
And then it also allows people to feel like they're in the room with us.
Yes, for sure. I like that as well. I like that vibe. I think that's also when we brought in the third angle. I know we don't have it right now. We're having some technical problems in the studio that will be fixed before the next season. But I think when we added that third angle, it really, at least for even for me when I was just doing the editing, I was like, wow, I really feel like I'm part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's actually that's something that I do while we're recording to make sure I keep my focus. Because it does get a little monotonous sitting in the back just pressing 2 buttons or 3 buttons. So I would be this I think how I don't really listen to that many podcasts. And actually, I shouldn't say that. Before I started working on Gems, I didn't watch any podcasts.
Never
I
did.
was not a podcast person. I'm a visual person as well. And I think at that time, podcasts were a lot more audio.
It was audio,
And then, the shift, I think the pandemic also made that big shift as well, doing a lot more visuals with podcasts. But then working on the show, I'm like, oh, I should probably check out some more podcasts. So all that to say is I usually like to pretend I'm part of the conversation. So you'll be here talking with whoever the guest is and talking about whatever. And I'll be there in the back like,
Yeah, and I feel like
You know what I
people,
mean?
you're watching it, listening, and actually having that same reaction. as well.
exactly. So when we added that third angle, it really made me feel even more part of the conversation,
Yeah.
quote unquote. And then it also helps me focus on my job to make
Correct.
sure I'm actually not missing any switching or any notes or
Yeah.
anything like that.
And the other thing that had me a little bit insecure was that obviously I thought like doing something like this, you would need like to study journalism or like, you know what I mean? And then like you gotta do like speech things, like public speaking or mass communication classes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of things. And obviously like I never did anything like that formally. So everybody, you're watching me practice in public.
Yeah, real
I'm
time.
growing in real time.
Literally.
Yeah. So and I think because the conversations are raw and authentic, allow me to not be perfect. You just be normal.
But that's the thing too, like from the beginning, you always had questions. And I think like regardless, keeping in mind most of the people, like 99% of the people are actually your friends. And
Yes.
people you actually know. But even with that, you would still do your research. You would see if they won any particular awards, if they did any particular trips and things that would be noteworthy to mention. And like for season 2, you always had a list of questions, so many different questions and things for you to talk about. But now we're finishing season 5, you really go in with like points more so than questions, that makes sense?
For guides,
Yeah, like just for
guidelines,
guidance.
yeah.
And then at the end of the day, because it's so conversational, the guest sometimes brings up stuff that you didn't even know about or you weren't expecting.
Correct.
And then you end up talking about that instead. And so many times as well, you finish like, I didn't even get to half my points, but the conversation was still so good.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
it's nice that you have a plan, but then you just kind of accept where the journey goes, and where the conversation
I surrender
goes.
to it. I
Yeah.
surrender to the process itself and just allow the conversation to just take on a life of its own.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would do is obviously just have like a set of guidelines because the thing about storytelling is that you want to take people on a journey. So you kind of want to have like an icebreaker or you want to educate people on who the guest is or some people might be listening or seeing the guest for the first time. So obviously you would set up some questions that will allow that to happen. And then based on the guests and their story, you kind of like want to like take people up. You get to a climax, and then you kind of you get to a deep note. You get a little deeper with them, and then you kind of like end on a lighter note because it's still got to bring people out
Right.
a little bit. You don't want to carry people down in a pit and then leave them in there. So that's why I would say like for the guests, some of the stories that I would choose to feature are stories from people that can share from a place of healing and not because it has to be a positive outcome in the end. I don't want to have people that would share a story, but they ain't get out that pit yet. You get what I mean? That makes sense.
100%. That makes complete sense.
Because what happens is that the viewers could then be taken down in there and kind of, feel like when you're watching a movie, like
It doesn't have a happy ending. And you leave the
yeah,
cinema like,
yeah,
ah,
yeah,
it was still good, but you feel defeated or deflated.
yeah. Or sometimes you get like the journey is kind of like a bit bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know, it's still some kind of sweet thing about it at the end, which is very like Shanice Taylor, a more recent one that we put out.
Big up Shanice.
Yeah, Shanice Taylor, she had an amazing story, and her story was about resilience. So she took us down a dark road, but then because of everything that she was able to achieve after, and the person that she became after that, is what allowed people to then come out and is like, yeah, that's resilience.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was so yeah. So I do go in with a mindset and some guidelines, and so that it has a particular flow, and not just just leave people in that pit.
Yeah. But I feel like it's important to note that you just said you didn't do any type of journalism school or broadcasting or mass communications, but you figured out that formula on your own. You did your own research. You think about podcasts that you like and what you don't like from them and this and that. And you were able to pull all these little pieces together and create gems in such a way that is good for you because you're the one, like you said, you're hosting. You have to feel comfortable at the end of the day more than anything. But then
Yeah.
also to be able to relay that comfort to the guests, for them to be able to
Yeah.
want to share such personal. Some of these stories and the things that people share are like so personal, and I commend and applaud them as well. I'd be sitting in the back editing, crying, literally I've cried during so many editing sessions, and then to also be able to extend that to the audience and the viewers, for them to be able to go through that journey as well. For somebody who hasn't studied any of this, I think
Right.
is very impressive as well.
I think that part of that is being able to look at other things and just apply it, because it's almost like everything takes on the same formula. Because if you go to movies or you watch a series, it's all storytelling, right? And I look at podcasting, and what we are doing is storytelling. So I take that same formula or things that are just look at how I would want to see
Watch
how something
something,
go.
right.
So you gotta kind of like constantly put yourself in the viewer's shoes and ask yourself, what would that person like to get from this? How do you want that person to walk away when they finish watch this or listen to this? So I think that's my approach. I always think about who's watching,
Yeah.
and I want them to have this particular experience. So that's how I create everything around that, putting
Yeah.
other people first.
No, that's a really good point. And I think, like as you said, you learn things as you go. And even though we already mentioned that you didn't do journalism itself, and this was our first time doing a podcast, you've been in production for so many years beforehand. And at the end of the day, the production is a production, and there's so many
Exactly.
transferable skills and knowledge
Transferable,
and
that's the
stuff like
word,
that. So
yeah.
even if you started doing music videos or short films or whatever, a lot of the, especially the technical stuff, transfers over to a
Definitely.
sit down podcasting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A couple people came on here and they also mentioned it. So Just Jay was one of the people that spoke about collecting data.
Using your brain like a hard drive, he said.
Yeah, and like all the experiences that you go through in life, there are going to be times when you're going to have to pull from those experiences and apply them to what you're working on in the present. And I think Natalie Abrahams also said the same thing.
Yeah.
She also said it's like you collect these things and like have them like in a tool belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of the things that I went through and all the jobs I had, from producing music to putting together events to managing artists and having to know how to deal with people and how to deal with creatives and having an insight on what they go through. Because that's what would allow me to know how to answer these questions, because I am a creative myself. So I know the struggles and I know the journeys and I know the roadblocks and that kind of thing. And I know what they would like to be asked and what should be out there for the public. So yes, everything that I did in the past kind of sum up to what we're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I definitely, because I do production work outside of this as well, of freelancing. And there's definitely times I was on a shoot and somebody would say something technical. And I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Or things that I've
Yeah.
learned setting stuff up. Even when we do off-site shoots,
Off-site productions,
I
yeah.
definitely have taken that information that I learned from working on Gems and applied it to commercial shoots and music video
Yeah.
shoots and short film shoots
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's really good to, just keep note of things when you're any type of job that you're on. Just keep note of things and see how you can apply it and listen. I think that's something that benefits me a lot is I'd be just sitting in the back. I'll just be listening to conversation. I don't want to say eavesdropping, but low key eavesdropping. Once I could tell it's a work
What the agent to say?
conversation,
She malicious.
but it's like educationally malicious. Like if
Yeah.
I realize people are talking about personal stuff, I don't listen.
It's curiosity. It's
Yeah.
good to be curious.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm on a shoot with like Q and Kenny and they're talking about all this different stuff, I'm just have an ear out like, okay, cool. So that also helps me because if I'm doing producing or assistant directing and they're talking about technical stuff in terms of setting up a light, I know they're going to need an extra 10 minutes or they're going to need some more
Yep.
time. Let me adjust this and how we can, so I'm already like processing what I have to change from my stuff before they even come to me and tell me anything. And that's
Yeah.
similar with stuff here as well. Like when I'm doing the switching between the guest and you, I've learned how you ask questions, how you converse, so that when I'm doing my editing, it's really not much to do. Like I've gotten really good at the live switching because I know when you start to talk like this, then you're going to finish your point, and then the next person will go.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
So you just have to really listen and be attentive to what's happening around you and figure out where you can apply that to what you're doing now and what you might be doing in the future.
Learn, adapt, and overcome. That's pretty much what that is.
Learn, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah. And then because and don't take any experience for granted, because even if a job might look like if it's like it makes you a little uncomfortable in the beginning or it might be too small or whatever, like there's still things that you can take from that. It depends on what stage you're at in life. But there are 3 stages that people go through. A stage where you're curious, and then only out of being curious is when you can find your passion. And then doing your passions and going through that stage is when you will find purpose.
Nice.
So I think that a lot of people skip the curiosity stage and the learning stage. I
And you
mean, like
just
you
want the
always
end
got to learn,
result.
but they got this time where you just gotta like keep soaking up things and keep trying different things. Because you never listen to podcasts before you came on this show.
Not really. Very rarely. Very, very
right,
rarely.
so-
Not enough to be able to apply anything.
So I'm saying that to say that people need to, I would like people to keep their minds open,
Yeah.
stay curious, try different things because they got something out there that you never try yet. And then when you try it, it's like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
And then you realize, wait, I good at this.
Exactly.
Well, shoot, I found my purpose. But you can't sit in your room, do the same things over and over and over, and then try to say, I don't know what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I don't know my purpose. I don't have any passions. Nah, you gotta keep trying. So it's good to be curious and then still learning and then collect data. And then even if you go into a complete different field, there's certain things that you could still transfer from one area to the next. Because principles are always the same.
Yeah, especially when it comes to things like work ethic. Doesn't matter what field you're working in, work ethic is either good or bad. You know what I mean? Whether you're an accountant or a 9-to-5 corporate job or doing something more creative, working for yourself, making art, you need to be able to have that mindset of, I want to be able to do this and I want to do it well.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you need to be able to do X, Y, and Z properly and work through that and da.
So my question to you, I mean, I can't help it,
Oh dear.
even though the tables flip.
How the turntables hit me.
So since you're the person who sit down and you listen to these conversations, and sometimes you gotta do it over and over because you gotta be here live, and then you gotta sit down and then listen to it again for the editing process, and then again. So like, who do you think? Give me three people that impacted you the most while working on their episode. There's three names.
That's a crazy question. Not crazy in a bad, but like that's a good one. Mister, I didn't study journalism. Mister, I'm faking it till I'm making it. I have to literally go through the list now. Okay, just because we are now in finishing season 5, I loved Kim's episode.
Yeah.
And I missed recording that because I was doing some personal things. So I wasn't there for the recording, but I edited it. And already knowing Kim for so many years and supporting her businesses and everything was nice. But to hear her on a personal side was really good. I definitely cried fixing up hers. And I actually messaged her afterwards as well. Just like, it was so profound. And she was so honest and open and personable. And I really like how her episode was. That definitely impacted me, as well as Alex Jordan, which funny enough, I also missed that one because I was traveling that year. So I didn't even edit that one actually. So I don't know if this fully answers your question, but that was the first time I just watched an episode because I was out of the country, so I couldn't do anything to help with it. So getting the experience of being an actual viewer, an audience member was really nice. So maybe that's why that one hit me as well a little harder than some of the other ones. But no, I really related to Alex's episode as well. A lot of stuff that she said about being a woman and getting older and stuff like that. I'm not in the same generation as her, but it was nice to know what to look forward to and things to look
relatable to
it was still relatable to me as a woman, as a Caribbean person, and everything.
And also as a mixed person.
Mixed
race.
I think that is
female.
what hit me the most as well, because it's definitely it's very interesting being mixed race in the Caribbean, growing up in the Caribbean with a white parent and a black parent. So a lot of those conversations I find aren't had. Any podcast of those that I have found afterwards are more US centric.
Yeah.
And culturally it doesn't always hit. It doesn't always hit. Yeah. So that her episode definitely was enjoyable, even though I didn't edit or work on it directly. And I would also say Simon Pipe. Again, it might be a little biased because he is a friend of mine, but his honesty was also very refreshing. And I could listen to him speak for forever. Like, he's such an easy person to listen to. He's very profound. And you can tell that when he speaks, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like I like when you can tell that
he's very vulnerable too. And very pure.
Exactly. Like it's just, you can tell that he's just
he's not pretentious.
An honest person, easy to listen to and follow along. And I like when you can tell that people think before they speak. And you could definitely tell that even actually editing his, I did have to edit out
a lot of gaps.
Not the overthinking parts, but like you had asked him a question and he would be like,
Yeah, he would take his time.
He would actually listen. You could tell that he's processing what you said, thinking about how he wants to answer it, and then answered it so completely and so wholly, you know? So in terms of editing, I definitely had to cut out some of those thinking parts, but it was like in the nicest way possible, in the best way possible. Because I do think a lot of people do need to think more before they speak.
Yeah.
So that was also really refreshing. So I would say those are 3. I would not say those are my top 3 episodes. Because every time we do an episode, I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite.
This is your new favorite. This is the best one. Oh, this is the best one. Oh, this is the best one. Like everyone.
Literally almost every episode. And then I, of course, have to mention Mahalia's episode. Because that's one of my besties. So but I also can't tell that that's my favorite episode because that's way too biased. But yeah, hers was also really nice. And again, with the crying. Anytime anybody cries, I feel like we did a good job. So thank you for being vulnerable.
How many criers that we had? We had Daniel.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Danny's episode. But again, everybody knows I love a Danny G, so I can't just pick my favorite people.
She's like an OG because she was in season 2, episode 2. Daniel Gonzalez. So yeah, she was the first person to bring in some tears.
Yeah.
Mahalia
for sure.
We actually had a man that come in here and cry. Not saying that men
No,
not supposed to cry, but I
men,
just want to make
cry if you want to cry here. Crying is
yes.
extremely healthy.
My boy Simon Aline, he
Yes.
take off
Oh,
his
I love Simon
glasses.
too. That was
Yeah.
so good. Simon's such a great guy.
What was surprising is that Ross didn't cry, but Ross admitted that yo, like I had to cry because he went through certain things, and so I
Exactly.
think I gotta commend the men that came on and said, "Look, I'm human, and men could cry though."
Yeah, at Knockin as well in the
At
later
nothing, yeah,
seasons.
he was like, "Bad
Bad
men
man
don't
don't
cry."
cry. Sometimes bad men gonna cry. Sometimes bad
Yeah,
women gonna cry.
nothing
Bad
was
people.
good though. Whoa,
That was
he's a good
I
communicator
would
too.
say his was probably one of the most motivational for me. Like how he speaks
Yeah,
is like you
yeah,
just
yeah,
can't
yeah,
help
yeah,
but
yeah. He's
want to
anointed.
do what you want to
He's
do. And I'm
definitely
very glad that
anointed.
he's continuing doing motivational speaks and stuff at schools and everything. That's
Yeah.
like if I had someone talking to me like that at a young age, I don't even know where I'd be now.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a millionaire by now.
I feel like what was special is that everybody have had a special place. You know, it's not even like a comparison or anything. I feel
Yeah,
like,
not
I
at
mean,
all.
obviously, like things are going to be more relatable to other people based on the field that they're in, or if they personally know them, or if they know of them. And that's, that would then kind of tell you how it connects. But I feel like once you are in their field, like you could definitely relate to so many things that they were saying. So even like with sports, and we had Kimar with cricket,
And Haley as well. Haley's was
Haley,
definitely motivational for me too, for
yeah,
sure.
Haley, and she started off, she did so well from such an early age.
Prodigy.
Yeah, boy. And even like the chefs, we had like Chef Craig
Yeah.
and we had Damian Leach, and they came in and they kind of tell us about the ups and downs in that field and things that you don't really think about. Like to be a chef in today's world, like you kind of is a big sacrifice because you don't really get like everybody's holiday is the
It's
time
the
that you go
busiest
to work.
time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I mean the
Exactly.
same thing goes for like entertainers, but I feel like chefs is like they gotta be on point every single time and be
Yeah.
consistent. Yeah. So I think for me, if I had to turn that question on,
What are your top three episodes, Matthew?
you can't put me in that position. I like every single episode.
Yeah,
As I
honestly,
say,
really
each
and
one
truly.
have a special place. Obviously, the most recent one that did very, 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 very well, that did the most views so far is Shanice Taylor.
Yeah, crazy. Like her story was. I definitely going back to your editing question. You were there when I was editing. I was so vexed when she mentioned
Yeah, you
about
was
the
a
school issues. I literally paused. I was like, Matthew, what do
you was
you
getting
mean?
to
Because that's
protest.
another one that I missed the recording because I had some stuff to do. So I was just doing the editing, and I'm honestly so glad I wasn't there for the recording because I would have been back there like, stop everything.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Some because of a form you didn't get to go to school, and then this, and then that. Like her story is just
Yeah, because it
phenomenal,
felt like
phenomenal.
it felt like it was a disservice to her
Yeah,
from her parents and then the school system.
yeah.
How
It
many minutes
was
we at?
her episode was definitely profound, and that one hit different for sure.
And again, that was another godsend because the way how that happened was a friend of mine sent me one of her videos, and she was talking about she had a video talk like just telling young people like don't be so angry, and she said like I could relate to you because I've been there before. This is what I went through. And when I heard that story from her video, it connected to me. And I was like, I gotta get Shanice on. And it wasn't from any other perspective of I just wanted to share the story. I just I wanted her message, and because I never met her before.
Yeah,
I
one of
didn't,
the few people that you've never met
I
before.
had never
For
that
sure.
that conversation that we had in here, that interview was the first time that I actually spoke to her other than inviting her to the show. So when they sent her the message and they said, hey, dun dun dun, I got this podcast, you want to come through? And she was like, don't freak. She didn't even ask questions. She was like, yeah.
Nah,
You
she's
know what I
such a
mean?
beautiful soul for
And then
sure.
when she came in, I had nothing prepared. Like nothing. Like I didn't even I had no questions. And all I had was that video that she had up. That's all the data I had. And I said, and that particular day, if you remember,
That was a long day
that was a long
because
day.
we were shooting in the morning and then I had left. And then
Yeah.
you had more in the evening again,
Yeah. I had 4 interviews before
back
hers.
to back.
Back to back, back to back.
It was a lot.
Yeah. I just had to I had to pray for this one. I had to pray for this one. It's like I need some strength because and guidance on how to conduct this interview because I felt like I didn't have any more energy. And then but when she came in, I felt good. I felt the energy. And I just went with it.
Yeah.
And things just happened from there. And I just say, well, look, I can just carry this on like normal conversation. I know trying to get to know Shanice and I just flow from there. And it was like one of the best interviews we ever did.
I really liked hers for sure. That was one, even when I finished editing it, I even went home and spoke to my family. I'm like, this episode's not out yet. I'm going to send one of the link in the family chat on Sunday when it come out. But I have to talk to you about this story. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely feel a little privileged that I get to see everything before everybody else. But there's definitely times where I be messaging my friends like, yeah, we got an episode coming out. You're definitely gonna want to watch this one for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I want the best feeling or one of the things that are giving me the best feeling from all of this is one, how many people that story is relating to, how many supporters she now have. I mean, like we have people who follow the podcast who end up going into town to her store
For reals?
to say hi or to support her with something or whatever, and that is exactly what this is all about.
That's nice.
This what we are doing. My vision is to obviously, yes, build a community, build people to come together stronger. And some people that may not had ever know her before or know any other guests that don't know about them. I know it feels like a family thing,
For sure.
you know,
For sure. That's
because you
really
see
nice.
people every day, people passing or you see people on the internet and you just don't really know a lot about them because they don't really, they post certain things. Just like
Yeah.
what Nikita said, like if
Yes.
she really had to post
What she wanted
real,
It's
you know?
different.
So what this show, my vision for this show is to allow people to come on and be themselves, and once to do that, it kind of connects them to their tribe. And something that Kim said, she spoke about having a village. It's important to have a village.
Yeah.
Have supporters. You can't do this thing alone. Don't isolate, or don't just pretend that everything is okay, or don't think too much about how people can judge you, but just say what's on your mind, what's on your heart, be yourself, and your vibe gonna attract your tribe, and that's your village.
Yeah. I think another great thing about the show is how organic so much of it is as well.
Right.
Like there have been times, even going back to Simon Pipe's episode, we were trying to get him on season 2.
Yeah.
But he was busy, he had things going on, he couldn't make it. And we're like, all right, we'll just, we'll keep him on the list for whenever.
Yeah.
Then he came on, I think it was season 3 or season 4, whichever one it was. And it was just
3.
it was just perfect timing. You know what I mean?
No, 4. Yeah. Because we have the Gem Drop compilation, right? And
Yes.
he's in that, and we did the Gem Drop compilation. For
Yes, he was
season
beginning
4.
of season 4.
Yeah.
We know this stuff. It's our show.
He's literally the first person.
Yeah. He's the third.
Third?
Third.
Oh yeah, Haley was
Haley
the
was the
first
first.
person. Yeah, Haley Matthews.
Right. So like just to say like there are people even with Kim as well, actually, we were trying to get her in from ever since.
Everybody's coming the time that they're supposed to come.
Right. And then now we do the gem pull, which is a little different this season, which I love because we're able to incorporate the community now that we have such a strong viewer base and audience base. But in the beginning, when we were doing the gem drop and it was for the next person, the next guest. I thought that was a really interesting twist as well, because we didn't even know who the next guest was sometimes. The
No.
person definitely didn't know, but it was like every single one hit the person as it was meant to.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's literally exactly what I needed to hear. And I thought that was very, you always say it, you say it a lot, it's very divine.
It's divine, yeah.
You know? So I
Because
think
there's nothing that we could, that's literally
can't plan
nothing
that.
we can't plan.
you literally can't plan that. So
It's
that's
bigger than us.
Exactly. That's another aspect of the show that I really like as well. How it's just come together in such a organic, beautiful, natural way. Nothing forced, you know, we're not pretending. We're
Right.
just talking,
Yeah.
breezing.
So again, I hope that this also, even that story or what you just said, could inspire other people who want to do other things that on their mind to do, and don't try to have everything so calculated. You know, sometimes you guys gotta like start and just let things go, and it works out how it's supposed to work out.
Yeah.
As long as you're like doing it for the right reasons, I think discernment will come, and it would just, everything would just lock into place how it's supposed to. I know that's be hard to do, but it's all about like having faith, because we want to like have everything together before we start, but
Can't happen. Can't happen that way. Not all the time.
you would never start.
We would never start. We would still be in the drawing board, going to people's businesses, which was
Yeah.
great. It was really nice to see people in their own element, but I definitely think the
What I learned
energy
from
was
this,
different.
and what I learned from that too, is learn how you can start late so that you can be consistent. And when I say start late, I mean, because before it was a lot of work. Like what we did, it was a mammoth task. So then it was really hard to sustain that. So I think like when you start in projects, you should start in a zone that you can maintain,
Yeah.
and then start to stack more on top of that as time go. Because you then, you build a team, or you're able to then monetize it, or certain things, and then you get him better at other things. Because as I had said earlier in this conversation, if we were still going around and doing mobile and setting up and all that, I would never really be able to grow
As quickly.
as quickly in other areas, like how to ask questions, or how to conduct an interview, or the storytelling aspect of it. Yes, I will have an idea, but I won't be able to execute it as well, because this thing needs practice, and that's why you gotta start, because everything is practice. So yeah, start late, start in a way that, because consistency is key. Because that's one of the other things people would commend me about, is that I love that you have this podcast, and I love how consistent it is.
Yeah.
And you can see the growth. If you go back and you watch the other seasons, the past seasons, you will realize it was a little rough. Certain mistakes we made visually. Some people may not pick it up.
Yeah.
But as people are in film or whatever, they would pick it up. It was like, oh, that person is
Not sharp and this and
not
that.
sharp. The exposure is off. The weight balance not right.
Yeah.
But again, like when you there's so much wheels turning that is really, really, really hard to get everything locked in and perfect. But I think the key is to just make sure that the meat of whatever you do is on point, and that's the content,
Yeah.
the subject, the conversation, whatever it is. Once the core is there, then everything else would then start to fall in. Because another thing too is that the audience don't always see what's in your head. So you seeing it in your head because it's your vision, but they don't know what you're thinking. So they're just seeing what you put out, and they accept, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But you might be tripping because you know where you want it to be. You're not getting there yet, but you got to remember that you might be the only person that actually know where you wanted it to be.
I would love to comment on that, because there have been many conversations that we've had, and I'm like, Matthew, what are you talking about? Can you be a little more clear? Can you elaborate a little bit? And I can tell that you just have this grand idea, and you don't even know how to explain it yet. Like you have, and I think that's a lot of an issue that a lot of creators have, where you have this idea and you can see the outcome, but you don't know yet how to get there. And so when you're trying to like talk to me about it, I'm just like, do you mean like this? You're like, no, no, not that. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? But like you said, if you keep at it and you tweak to suit, and like you were saying earlier as well, pretend you're the audience, you have to see how you would want it to be, then you're able to portray that in the way you want it to. So yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things there, that you could learn from it. But yeah, I just, as I say, I just want people to get from, if there's one thing you get from watching this conversation, is that start where you are,
Yeah.
use what you have,
And build.
and just build.
I would actually think it's a great time to bring up, because we've been talking about how well the show's been going and how we've grown and gotten better.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to mention times where we really messed up, like how we lost an entire episode that we filmed in season 2. So from the very beginning, being in this space, and something messed up with the roadcaster, and the audio was completely gone.
Yeah,
and we didn't have any.
Rodecaster is what, if people don't know, is what
sorry.
we it's this little, people call it a noise machine. But it records the audio, it mixes the mics, and and it triggers the effects, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so there was an glitch, an error, technical, whatever, and we had no. The only audio we had, it was like that's how it sounded.
It was messed up.
It was all messed up, so it was completely unusable, and we didn't have any backup at that time.
Nope.
Didn't have any backup.
But we learned to back up.
We learned to back up, and then
Back up. Have a backup plan.
Yeah.
X 3 times if you have to.
And then again with Kimar's episode, we got lucky in the sense that we already had the episode finished and exported. It wasn't out yet, but there was an error in the hard drive. We lost all the files. Mm-hmm. So there was a whole bunch of behind the scenes that I would have loved to have shared, because there was a fly in here, right? I know that sounds real foolish, but there was a fly in here, and it was so funny how they were having this deep conversation.
And a fly coming
and it's just, and I was like, so as I was there recording and we were recording, I was like, oh, this is gonna make such great bloopers, such great behind the scenes.
It's real life, man.
And then I actually caught the fly. I killed the fly with my bare hands, which is a very rare thing for people to do. So big up me for being able to do that, and then getting it on camera as well, which is so impressive. Footage gone. So now nobody will ever believe me that I'm able to catch a fly like Jackie Chan in my hand, because the files are gone. And we didn't have backups.
Yeah.
But now, and then even from another thing I would love to mention as well, when we first started with season 2, so like Dario, Danny's episode, stuff like that, it took me 8 hours to edit one episode.
Yeah.
Because at that time, we just had the 2 cameras and we were recording into the memory cards.
Yeah.
So after we sit there for an hour and a half recording, I would go in and literally build the episode frame by frame.
Yeah.
And that took me forever, especially at Spence at that time. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. Matthew was like, you can figure it out. Here's how this works. Here's how DaVinci works. Here's how Final Cut works.
Yeah.
You know.
And we had a slower computer.
We did have a slower computer.
Because I think we were working off of the laptop.
Yeah.
At the time.
Exactly.
And yeah, so it's only now that we have a computer it's a lot faster.
Yeah, the system. So it's literally the first episode I ever edited took me 8 hours. And I'm not exaggerating, because I literally timed it. All right, it's now 2:00 when I'm starting, and I left at 10:00 at night. There were some days I left here after midnight.
I want people to know that this is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It takes up a lot of time.
A lot of time. And then we grew from there, and then you got the ATEM switcher, which is a godsend, and I love it so much. So now when we record, I'm able to live edit.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do the switching between the angles while we record in real time. So when I have to go back and edit, it's mainly would just be switch this angle, or if I switched a little too late or too early, just moving it a little bit. Yeah. And now at season 5, like Allison Hines' episode, took me 2 hours to edit in totality. And I just, every time I look at the clock, I'm like, what? It only took me 2 hours and I'm already done? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know what? It makes me feel good to know that not only have my skills gotten better, but the system that we set up for the show as well
Systems.
is a lot smoother, and it's a lot easier to
Yeah.
get through.
So as you said, systems, like finding a system is important. Like try to find something that you don't have to keep reinventing every time you do something,
Yep.
or just try doing, like, find that system that works, that is more optimal, that you can get it done with speed and get it done efficiently and looking best. Or don't matter what it is you do.
Yeah.
Whether it's restaurant business or production or
Or just
anything.
life,
Or just
actually.
life.
You just even
Chores.
if you need
Just find a
exactly
system.
like if you need help to figure out, okay, wake up in the morning, make my bed, brush my teeth, prepare breakfast, like it's all a system.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all a system.
And for the workflow that we actually have like we wrote out a list,
Yeah.
and we was like, all right, this come next, right? So we reach out to the guests, we record, we edit, we do this, and we know exactly where we need to be at what time. And then like the distribution process, like, okay, so we gotta like put it on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, we gotta put up this link, we gotta cut a clip, we gotta put it on Instagram, we gotta put it in your bio.
Yeah. And it's interesting to hear you list that out now, because yes, we literally physically wrote out and had a checklist and
Yeah.
did everything. But I don't think we really quote unquote used that list in this last season or last two seasons.
No,
Like, it's got to
because
the point that it's
it
just
becomes
become
a habit.
second nature.
It becomes a habit.
Like, so
yeah.
even hearing you list it all out like that, I'm like, oh yeah, we actually physically had a
We have to do all
checklist
that.
that I completely forgot about, because it's just so second nature now.
And that's why systems are important, because when you build a system and you keep doing it, then you don't even have to like think about it.
Exactly.
And it just, as you say, is second nature. So
Sure.
yeah. So is there anything else that we want to bring up?
I feel like we hit all the major points. I guess it's just
Shut up, Siri.
Siri interrupting Siri. But no, I think we hit all the nails on the heads. I think the only thing I would like to finish up with or add in is give us some more gems, guys. Give us some gems for our gem pull bag.
And you could send it in a DM
DM to Gems from Friends.
on Instagram.
Send a DM on Instagram to Gems from Friends with the first line could just say gem pull, maybe in caps, so we know that this is for the gem pull bag.
Or say this is my gem.
This is my gem for an episode. Let me know. Let me fill up the bag with full of gems so that when we come back for season 6, we have a bag full of gems to share. And if you want, like, a lot of people don't put their name down. If you want it to be anonymous, you can let us know. If you want to say have your name included, let us know. So there's no pressure if you don't want people to know that it's you. But yeah, I think it'd be really nice to get some more gems for the bag.
Yeah. And I guess I want to use this opportunity to just thank all the guests that we had so far. You know, for everyone that go ahead. For everyone that agreed to come on the show, and they were vulnerable and they were willing to open up and share. I think that was good for them, because it works two ways. Some people said, oh, this was like therapy for me, you know, having to come here and just see, because again, like, there's not really any platforms for them to go on to talk about these things that we talk about on this show. And then the other part would be like, there's nowhere people can hear these kind of stories. I mean, yes, there are other podcasts, there are other shows and stuff like that, but it's more US based.
Yeah.
It's more first world based, but there's stories that are from here, from Barbados and Bajan people, that are being told that we can really relate to, because things hit us differently than just listening to somebody's story from the US.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially stories that come from people that you know personally, or that you are in the same proximity as.
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference. And thanks for them for even trusting us with their stories, because they're very vulnerable things that get say on the show.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I put the episode, sometimes people might go missing for a little bit. So then it would check in on them and see if they have vulnerability hangovers.
Yeah, no, that happens, man.
That's a thing.
It is definitely a thing after sharing stories. It's like I need to go home and just sit in the dark for a little bit and process everything I just publicly said.
I wonder like, if anyone is like, why did I say that?
But we always tell people if there's something you don't want included,
Yeah, we won't put it on.
we
yeah.
make sure everybody is comfortable.
On their side.
Yeah,
We're not
exactly.
that kind of media.
We're not that kind of media. We're happy media.
It was called it tabloids.
Tabloids,
That's what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah.
We're not the tabloids. We're on their side. And yeah, I mean, if it's anybody else that, I mean, there's a few people that have been following us
From the
from the beginning. I want to say shout out to you.
commenting on every reel,
You comment.
every video, liking, sharing. Yeah, boy.
And that goes a long way because there are times when I don't want done.
Yes. Yes, he has said it many times.
There were many times that I was like, this is the last one. I ain't doing this no more. But then somebody would see me in public and then it's like, man, this show has such an impact on my life. And I said, damn, like, is that serious? So, or they would talk about this particular episode that really touched them. And there's one person that came to me recently. I'm not going to say any name, but his family was, his dad was on his show. And he said that he go back to that episode from time to time and it helps him a lot.
Wow.
Because he thinks that was said to me on this show, he didn't hear from his dad in person.
Wow, that's mega impactful.
And he came and he told me, and if you see this, big up yourself and thanks for even coming and approaching me and letting me know that. Because those are the kind of things that give me the gas to keep going, because when you know that you're making a difference and that the plan and the vision you have is actually touching people, is like, all right, this is bigger than me now. It's not just about how I feel to help my emotions. This is about serving others and that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming to me and telling me how the show have been impacting you, because that really give me the encouragement to keep going.
Yeah. That's really nice. I didn't even know that. So look at me learning something new again.
Yeah.
Live in real time. Yeah, that's really nice. I think it's nice to, because of course people don't come up to me, which is fine, because
But they come to you, they're like, you're on camera.
No, they're gonna come to me. But I would, as soon as anything's posted, like especially after the next 2 or 3 days, I would refresh, and I'm always looking through the comments and liking all these random comments, because it's just so nice to see what people are saying and picking up on things that I picked up when I was editing or things that I would have missed as well. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point as well. So it is really encouraging and endearing to see all the comments and everything. So keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing.
And subscribe.
Actually, please subscribe.
Please.
Like, I know this is something that I actually realized after the fact when I started watching more YouTube podcasts and stuff, is that I'm not actually subscribed to so many of the pages that I follow, so you want to make sure to actually hit the button, subscribe.
And hit the notification bell. There's a bell that is next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that so that you can be notified when we upload and we do a new season, a new episode.
Yeah.
So you can stay up to date. And if you're not following the Instagram page, please do.
Yeah.
All of those things help us. And it put us in a position that we can keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Pause before we finish. You want to mention that we're looking for sponsors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a cut hand down. That's the idea. We're looking for sponsors.
We're looking for money, y'all. We got bills to pay.
Yeah.
He got children to feed. I got dogs to feed. So
yeah, and this take a lot of time. So obviously when I'm doing this, I can't do other things.
yeah.
We also have to keep the lights on
Yeah.
in the studio.
And the AC. Outside it's be hot.
Outside, as you know, and especially for this summer. And we got equipment.
Go equipment. We need
And we want to
updated.
improve.
We need to get back our third angle. Because that was
Yes.
one of my favorite as well. Because I love how that brings everything
Yeah.
together.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, we also have to say thanks to the National Cultural Foundation for assisting us
With the latest season.
with this current season. They came on board and help us in a great way so that we can continue.
Yeah. But we still need to continue.
But
So,
we want to do season 6.
yes, and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and keep it going. And then all the other segments we didn't even talk about.
Yes, these spin-offs.
The spin-offs. So on the grow that we started, but we didn't get a chance to fully develop. I would love
Yeah.
to be able to do more of that. Where
So-
we actually
So if you don't know about On the Grow is highlighting and putting the spotlight on like new businesses, new business owners, like people that are just started like in the first year or maybe 2. And like we want to bring them on to not just bring on like the established people or people who have been in it for a length of time, but the new people who are on the rise. And that's
Yeah.
what we call it, on
on
the
the
grow.
grow. And then it's kind of also on the go because for those ones we will go to the business because you
Yeah,
have to
we
showcase
feature
the
the
business.
business, yeah.
So it's that. And then also in the works / semi-started music from friends where we
Yes.
focus more on musical artists and producers and singers and stuff like that. And I
Yeah,
know
so that's
something coming
in the
up too.
making.
Yeah.
But we need support.
We need support. We need for us to continue the main pod and then do all the fun spin-offs and different segments and keep growing and connecting with people. We need some money.
Yeah.
We need some funds. We need to, pay our bills and keep the show going.
Yeah, and also we have actually a bigger team. So we have camera people.
Yeah, we're trying to keep growing the team as well to
For
make the
this
whole
one,
everything streamlined.
We still have to big up and shout out to Joash.
Joash and Jerome,
Jerome.
for sure.
Joash would like to be called Lost Saint. So let me say Lost Saint and Jerome. Jerome's company is
Rocky Visuals.
Rocky
Rocky
Visuals.
Big
Yeah.
up the men.
So they usually come and help us out with the cameras and behind the scene photos and that kind of thing. So
yeah.
so we have people employed. So yeah, we
Want to keep growing.
yeah, we want to. Everything about this is about a purpose. We want to bring people on that are interested in this type of work. They could learn here, contribute in some way. And then also it helps people to watch this, listen to it, and grow. And all the information that we've been sharing, hopefully, is things that you can take and apply into your life. So yeah.
For sure.
Anything else?
I think we hit
I think
everything.
that should be everything.
If wanna like this episode, I want more like this in a couple seasons.
Yeah.
This is probably the only other time you will see me because I'm going back into my hole.
Let us know if you want to see Jacoba more. Yeah. She might take my job.
No, it's okay. They like to see you and you already have you started.
Yeah, you're way more attractive than me on screen. So
Well,
I
I won't fight that. But no, you keep the host position. I will keep the editor in the back position, and I will check in another 5 seasons.
yeah, and stay tuned because we got some. I'm not going to say too much yet, but if
Some changes in the works.
we can be making some changes and we want to have more people involved, more creators, more creatives, more brands will be able to take part of this. So
Yeah.
if you're interested in getting to know how to do this podcast, or if you just want to create content, we got something coming.
Yeah, hopefully everything's sorted out before season 6, so we
Yeah.
can do season 6 nicely.
Nice.
In
very
a nice top way. I don't want to say too much because I'm that type of person that would say foolishness.
All right. And this is the part where we say it's a wrap.
That's my line. Wait.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So thank you, Matthew, for having me and for being on your own show. And it's a wrap.
Cut.
Pop, pop,
You gotta
pop,
say
pop,
cut.
pop. Cut.
This project is made possible in part by the Cultural Industries Development Fund of the National Cultural Foundation of Barbados.